Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti, along with Akeisha Courtney. And it's a nice day in South Florida. We'll have to go with this afternoon because we've had really a lot of rain. So we're going to start the day with a sloppy main track. Of course, no turf racing this afternoon, but we got the all-weather Tapeta.
That means that all of the scheduled turf races will be moved to the Tapeta. We'll keep you apprised of scratches and some distance changes with those surface switch. But the good thing is we keep saying with the option of the Tapeta surface, very few scratches on the card as far as those off the turf races do go.
Yeah, it always amazes me. You expect the card, and two horses, one horse out of a race for whatever reason. So $800,000 gross jackpot pool in the Rainbow Six, which will kick off in race number 6 with this 11 race card on the big day for the big game. So
that's right.
It kicks off about 6:30. So come on out, join us. You can go home, watch the game, come back Wednesday again.
I like it.
You like it. It's a plan. You need a plan. Let's look at Brian's early pick 5 ticket.
That's a plan.
There you go.
$48 ticket to start things off. Currently Fishing for Fun is the favorite in the opener, but this is a tough horse to trust given the fact that he is 0 for 8. So Brian's got 4 horses here, 2 in race number 2, 3 in the 3rd, and then we pick up with the quality with the 4th race off the turf in that maiden special way, but on the Tapeta, he'll still go 4 deep with some really nicely bred horses in there, and then a single in race 5 of Outshine, who I think should be very tough in the controlling speed in that race.
Yeah, for trainer Marty Drexler. So this first race this afternoon, $48 for Brian. That's pretty good. You hit that, then you got some money to watch the big game today. First race, I did go with the number 7 horse in here, and that is Euphoria Star, is getting Lasix after responding to the equipment change. Blinkers off with another solid effort at this level and distance for Mr. Mike Morrison. Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle.
Does get Lasix for the first time, so maybe that's something that will help. That's the only change today. A question I had is that he's run 2 good races at the level. Second by 3/4 of a length last time out, and then 3 back in October, second by a neck. He just hasn't been able to get the job done. So I agree. I think he's a major player in here. I just had a really tough time kind of sifting through, and I wanted a fresh face and one that was dropping in class. Henry III comes in for Juan Avila, picks up or keeps Luis Saez, actually, who rode him last time when he didn't do too much running. That was for a 50 maiden optional, claiming a really salty field, much tougher than what he faces today. Drops in for the lowest he's ever run, and I'm hoping that that race 2 starts back with an apprentice rider and Franklin Cailles aboard who did nothing wrong. He closed well, but now you've got Luis Saez staying aboard to drop down to the 25.
I had the number 4 in second, and that's Bogey Meister, who's stretching out slightly after setting the early pace prior to finishing a weakening 3rd against this level, going a mile 70 yards on the Tapeta surface. I sort of think, well, I've noticed a couple of times when we have a lot of rain, the Tapeta course, maybe speeds up a little bit. So maybe a horse like this has a chance. But what I want to know, what did I miss with the number 1?
Well, I ride Ortiz is number 1, first of all. But also Brian found stat on trainer Ron Spatz. And this one does drop in class a little bit too. But Ron Spatz on the Tapeta has had really a lot of success on this surface at Gulfstream. 21%, 4 for $19, $89 ROI. The question, of course, is that this one's been on the Tapeta, was 3rd at this level back in December with the blinkers on. Does pick up Irad Ortiz, and I think that's a big reason he's taking so much money.
Race 2 this afternoon, 6 furlongs will be tested on that sealed sloppy track. Claimers 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, $6,250. We did have a scratch of the number 4 earlier today, and we have a jockey change on the 1-2, David Baracco. Both you and I had some interest in the number 2, Ocean Ride.
Ocean Ride won the non-winners of 2 condition 2 starts back, tried 12-5 non-3 last time, cuts the tag in half, and also cuts back in distance. I just felt that this was a horse who hadn't run this low before, had a little back class, and had some natural speed. More than anything, I think he just finds the right place today.
Gustavo Delgado, as you mentioned, Jose Ortiz. Asked for Bodie stepping up to the next level after drawing clear to defeat those non-winners of 2 lifetime runners by 2+ lengths. Brian found the stat on Mr. Peter Walder. Let's throw that up there for him. And that is a winner, claiming sprints at Gulfstream over the past 2 years. Pretty good numbers, 27%. 241 is the return of investment.
Yeah, Miguel Vasquez going to be aboard once again. Now it is, of course, a step up to the next level of competition. 62.50 on 2 last time out. Up to the next level today. He's obviously a major player. The number 6, No Commission, has kind of been knocking on the door, and once again just seems to find the right place. If there is some speed, this one I think will be running late.
And he's 1 for 1 in the money on a wet track, which a lot of these horses have never even tried it before. So maybe when you do your handicapping, you look at something like that. We're going to stay on the main track for race number 3. It's a 1-mile maiden claimer for filly 3-year-olds, $12,500. I'll kick it off with the number 5, Only Girl, who's wheeling back after breaking slowly from the rail last time out before rallying to finish a distant third behind repeat winner Paintbrush at this level and distance for Jose Pinchin. Paco Lopez in the saddle.
Yeah, this one makes sense. And once again, it could just be the right place. I just thought, this is a horse that's been at the 12.5 level for a while. She'll be the lowest price today that she ever has been, that's for sure. And she's run some fine races. Playa Inclusion, I don't think that she has much more to offer, but she does get the blinkers on. She has some natural speed. Goes back to the main track today after trying 2 turns on the Tapeta last time. I thought the 7 furlong race, 2 starts back, was actually okay with that early speed, and maybe she's just able to take him every step of the way.
Yeah, we'll see with that cutback in distance and living her best trying the main track for the first time today. I think facing better on both turf and Tapeta with a sort of modicum of success for Chris Davis. Junior Alvarado had a nice day yesterday.
Yeah, Junior did. The only question about this filly is that she just has no early speed.
Yeah, and you need some speed, I think, it's, whether you're on the main or the Tapeta here. Off track, where over the years at Gulfstream Park, when it's sealed, sort of tilted towards speed. 4th race was originally scheduled for 1 mile on the turf to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. These are maiden special weight filly 3-year-olds, and there's some really nice horses in this race. We did have the scratch of the 8 American Heroine, a full sister to Grade 1 winner Air Force Blue. We're going to go back and show you this horse's last race, turn for home to the wire. And it's on the turf, but, we think that the turf, you can translate it. It's just a really nice performance. You had to look for that space to run in here.
Yeah, I was waiting for room in this performance. I thought that she actually ran quite well. There was a delay prior to this race because another horse broke through the starting gate and ran off, and she stayed pretty composed throughout all of it. You had some really talented horses in this field as well, and she did end up getting 3rd, closing late. Tyler Gaffleone going to be aboard once again. There she is, widest of all in the stretch. And while she is a question as to how she'll handle the Tapeta, as we've shown quite a bit, Air Force Blue with his progeny is done really well on synthetic surfaces. So maybe that is a little bit of sneaky pedigree in there, given that she's his full sister.
Yeah, $1 million daughter of Warfront, who had its birthday, a couple of days ago, 20 years old.
Warfront's birthday, yeah.
I went with the number 2 in second, Lady Poochie, who breaks from an improved post, but parted from the outside last time out to rally. Finished second, was the tepid favorite, albeit that was on the turf. Antonio Sano, Louis Sayers atop this daughter of Into Mischief.
Yeah, and she was the favorite last time out, excuse me, given the fact that she had run 4th in the Ginger Brew, 2 starts back, but she still has to prove it. She has a better post than she did last time out for sure. I thought there were some intriguing first-time starters in here. The number 5, Panama Hattie for Jimmy Toner. This one has a big pedigree. This is actually the half-sister to Grade 3 winner Mrs. Danvers, who Shug McGahee trained. The second dam was Starry Dreamer, who was another Shug horse, a really, really talented turf runner. So you've got that big Joe Allen turf pedigree on the bottom side. So we'll see how she handles the Tapeta, but she's been working really sharp up at Palmettos as well.
I went with the 1 in 3rd Mitigation, a $430,000 daughter of Into Mischief. Finished the stalk to pace 4th when making her sophomore debut here at 1 mile in the 16th on the main track. Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado handling the surface switch this afternoon. Very interested to see why Bill Mott left this horse on the, ready to run on the Tapeta. So I'm going to see how this horse runs this afternoon.
No, it is very interesting because I don't mind Into Mischiefs on the turf. I think they can run on anything, but there's hardly any turf pedigree on the bottom side, and I looked. But it is a really, really interesting kind of move, and they do stay in here today. But the number 4, Lamani, first-time starter for Chad Brown, a filly by Mastery out of a mare who was good on the turf. This one's intriguing as well. You backed off of this one. There's just so many ways to go. And then also I thought it was worth mentioning that with the surface switch, the number 6, Lisa Marie, has experience on the Tapeta up at Woodbine, now making the first start for Brendan Walsh. She could be a little bit intriguing, and I didn't include her in there, but I thought she was one to maybe take a second look at if you're playing multis.
Yeah, with Jose Ortiz in the saddle today. Race 4 this afternoon, about 1 mile, 70 yards on that all-weather surface. The Tapeta claim is 4 and up. $20,000. The jockey change on the 2 make the rider David Baracco, and both have Outshine on top of our ticket.
Yeah, Outshine, and we'll show a stat first off the claim for Marty Drexler. And I thought it was interesting, too, as this is first off the claim, routes on Tapeta, a small sample size, but 43% win, and it's an over $4 ROI. And what I also think is interesting is that this is a barn that's primarily based up at Woodbine. So claiming a horse here that can run on Tapeta is a benefit. But you think he's probably thinking long-term, too, that this is one that maybe could go up to Woodbine and be successful in the Tapeta there, where his main string is.
Well, I'm going to go back and show you the performance of both Outshine and J.P. Hellish last time out. I just thought it was interesting in the stretch run. There's J.P. Hellish, there's Outside. Now, the winner's going to be Outside Diligent, and you're going to see things just tighten up a little bit here in the stretch. I don't know if it caused them to stop running, but I just wanted to show it. Of course, Diligent not in here, and I thought those two ran exceptionally well. Sort of did the dirty work early on, and then the L8 came out on the outside. And I don't know how much that affected this horse, just sort of squeezing him towards the rail.
Well, no, it's a compromising position to be in. It's not a comfortable position for any horse because Outshine, in particular, was down to the rail, whereas J.P. Hellish was in between horses for both of them, and things were getting a little tight there. I don't think that was really a comfortable position. I think they're both major players. We have them 1-2. I think Outshine is just naturally a little quicker, and that's why I preferred him. Also use the number 7 emoji guy, who we know can win on the Tapeta.
Mr. Matusek comes out of that same race we just showed you, and just when changing bonds, I really like the work that Bill Theranos has been doing first off the claim. Breaks from the rail again, hoping to get away from the gate. He broke slow last time out, and the new connections, they tabbed Junior to ride, Junior Alvarado. Thought, like we said, maybe for a bottom of the try or soup, and I think this horse has got a shot to move up.
Yeah, this is a race where you have the main 2, and then you can kind of go a number of different ways after that.
Well, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground on first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Acacia. It is race number 6 is where the Rainbow 6 is going to start. It's on the main track. Let's go to my ticket, and it is $43.20. $800,000 gross jackpot guarantee. We'll talk about the 6th in a minute. The 7th race moved to the Tapeta surface today. I went with the 4, the 5, and the 9. I think the 4 Proud Green moves up with that surface switch. Race 8, Pearl in the Rough and Lara's Lady, I think, are the logical 2. In race number 9, 1.5 miles now on the all-weather surface. Shady McGee and Mega Yacht, I think, have big chances in there. Race number 10, like Omnia today, almost single Omnia, but I used a skew on my ticket. And in the last race, off the turf, 1.70 miles, I like Brisk Frolic, Biddy Boss, and Amble. That's a half-sister to grade 2 winner, Plum. So, 6th
Plum
race.
Ali.
Plum Ali. Ali. Forgot the Ali part. Race number 6 this afternoon. Number 7, Lakota Spirit should be primed and ready, I think, to score after finishing second in a career debut. So let's rewind it and show you the last race. There's the number 2 horse in the Lakota Spirit. I thought ran a really good race.
Yes, she did. Billy by Curlin. And this one, she actually ran well behind Favor, who came back to win again. And Favor was one that I think we weren't really quite sure if she was going to move on, and she did. She came back to win again for Todd Pletcher. This is a filly by Curlin out of a mare who's the sister to Rushing Fall. You see Favor drifting there. Lakota Spirit, meanwhile, hanging on that left lead. So you're still seeing greenness from both of the top two finishers.
Yeah, sort of had to duck in the stretch. Just wanted to show you that. And I believe Brian found a stat on Lakota Spirit.
Yep, Mr. Chad Brown, the trainer, 3-year-old maiden special weight, second-time starters in dirt routes. 35%, it is a negative ROI of $1.67, but this is in the past 5 years, and these are the type of horses that do typically tend to get bet.
And 2 wins for yesterday for Chad on the day, on Saturday. Who'd you use in second? You have the number 6 on top of your ticket.
I do. Well, my long shot was scratched out of the nightcap, so this is my new long shot, and actually a horse that I liked all along. This is Story Hour. She comes out of that same race behind Favor and Lakota Spirit, and I had actually liked her best in the paddock prior to the race for Ian Wilkes. Now, Julian Leparoux lost his irons out of the break. He was forced to pull her up. It wasn't anything that she did. It was just, unfortunately, something that happens if you have a horse that breaks a little awkwardly. You lose your irons. Go back and watch that race. He was an amazing show of, horsemanship to stay on and to be able to pull her up. And this was one that I had really liked prior to the race. I'm going to give her another shot, and hopefully we're able to keep a straight run here. And Julian Leparoux stays aboard too.
Stays aboard again. You did a great job. If you go back and look at that replay earlier on, you'll see he just got the horse out of the way so it wouldn't be in danger or anybody. Hey, that happens every once in a while. I did go with the number 5, Missy Greer, in second, whose debuts locally and gets the full kitchen sink treatment this afternoon. She goes from the turf to the dirt. She gets both Lasix and blinkers. Sort of an inconsistent pair on the Belmont turf for Danny Gargan. Luis Saez handling the surface switch. So changing everything up. See how this horse runs today.
And she is the half-sister to Gronkowski, who was multiple grade 1 placed on the dirt. And he was kind of that big striding, grinding type, and she looks absolutely nothing like him. She was a very lighter frame type, and I thought that was a reason of why she was running on the turf. She does get the blinkers on because she actually ran pretty well in debut and then pretty poorly last time out. That was followed with a layoff until now. So we'll see what we get from her. She's intriguing. I just thought that there were some other horses that I was really interested in to see.
And one of those we both have a third is a late night lady who's making her sophomore debut with Lasix and is shortening up to the 1-turn mile today.
And I think that could be a key for her. She has plenty of foundation with those 2-turn mile and the 16th races at Churchill Downs in her last couple. She's interesting. And Awesome Street, who started on the Tapeta up at Woodbine in her debut, comes back here off of a bit of a layoff, but has been training strongly up at Palmettos.
So we'll see how that horse runs. Let's go to race number 7 today. It was originally scheduled at 1 mile on the turf, now to be run at 1 mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Claimers 4 and up, not one is a 3 in life or race since August 13th. We had the scratches of the 2, the 3, and the 8, and Brian put a late pick 5 ticket together, $36.
3 horses in the 7th race, going to spread in the 8th races. That one is a pretty wide open, claiming 23 in the 9th, and then a single a little bit later on in race number 10. Wow, with the 4 Flying Black. I know that this was a horse he liked last time, so he's back on the bandwagon today, and 2 deep in the nightcap, which is a pretty competitive race.
Here in race number 7, number 4, Proud Green. One is, one versus Condition Claimers, 2 starts back on the all-weather surface, drops. I think this is a logical spot for this horse this afternoon.
No, I agree. That one was on the Tapeta in a starter allowance last time out. So coming into a straight claiming race today, which I think is intriguing. I elevated the 5 star sign, mainly because I had Mohawk on board on top before, and I thought that he was going to be the controlling speed. There's not a lot of speed in this race. So I think star sign stretching out and off the claim for Mike Maker will be aggressively handled with Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle. I would think he's going to take advantage of that and send him, because he does have a natural early speed.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see how the Tapeta plays with a lot of rain that we had this morning, see if speed does, maybe that's the key for this horse. The number 9, So Suave, the Irish bred, now in Kent Sweezy's barn. Son of Make Believe is stretching out to the mile 70 after finishing 5th, going 6 furlongs at Belmont, winning the Christopher Command barn. 5-year-old. He won going long, albeit on the turf in Ireland, and he got Irad, Ortiz in the saddle. I thought maybe this horse stretching out, and not a bad horse, and trying something new with the distance and Tapeta today.
He did actually win on the all-weather in Ireland at Dundalk towards the start of his career. And he's kind of a smaller, unassuming type of horse. And I had actually really liked him cutting back last time out to the 6 furlongs. And so it's another drop in class. Maybe the synthetic will actually suit him quite well. And certainly never a bad thing when you could get Irad Ortiz. He's coming back after winning 5 at Tampa yesterday, including the same at Davis.
He just wins all over the place. Yeah. And we'll talk about that bobblehead in a little while. The number one leash you have highly rated in here.
Yeah, Lease down to the inside with Luis Saez, dropping class as well. And this is another one who could be forwardly placed. They thought that it was a wide open race as far as the pace.
Race number 8 this afternoon, 6 furlongs, sealed sloppy track. It's Claimers fillies, 3-year-olds, 20 down to 16. We both have Pearl in the rough, who going to the Kelly Breen barn via the claim.
We saw Kelly Breen with a nice win off the claim yesterday with Chestnut Checkers. This one cuts back in distance, which I like. The race 2 starts back sprinting on a wet fast track, actually. Was a good effort, finishing second that day. Lara's Lady will be the speed off the claim for Jose D'Angelo, and I thought Pearl in the rough would sit just off of her.
Lara's Lady, by the way, we got a stat from Jose D'Angelo, and you'll see it right here popping up. And let's see, claim dirt sprints at Gulfstream in the past year. You knew it was going to be good. 6 for 17, 35%. 315 is the return of investment.
I think the ROI is really the key piece of this, because it feels like every time we talk about Jose D'Angelo, he's got good numbers, but to have a big ROI with horses that tend to take money, and he's been so good off the claim and finding horses that suit. Blinkers on for the first time last time. They come right back off today. The number 7, Delray Dolly, beat Lara's Lady last time out and is now first off the claim for Danny Hurtak.
Yeah, Danny Hurtak, Edgar Prado. They've been teaming up, Danny and Edgar Prado, on the horse that he claims, so we'll see how that one runs. Race number 9 this afternoon, originally scheduled for the turf at 1.5 miles to be run at 1.5 miles on the all-weather surface. Allowance optional claimers, 4 and up. Optional tag is $35,000. I almost went back to Mega Yacht in this race here. I kept going back between Shady McGee and Mega Yacht. Let's show Mega Yacht's last race.
And this was on the turf, but it was off of a couple-month layoff, and he was 9-2. It looked like North Carolina was the controlling speed and was absolutely home. Mega Yacht ran him down, and Mega Yacht's just such a big striding horse. He wants the distance, and yes, he's stepping in off a maiden win, but 1.5 miles should be absolutely no problem for him. And the mare has largely been a producer of turf horses, but as far as her better runners do go, but he's bitonalist, and you would think trying the Tapeta today should be no problem, and distance we know won't be an issue.
Yeah, and I was torn because that was such a good performance, but I did keep Shady McGee on top, who was third at this taxing distance at Belmont, 2 yards back, stretches out, showed speed, faded when facing in the 2-mile H. Allen Jerkins, that winner Aban, going 11 furlongs on the turf. So Aban showed he could run. Let's see if this horse can run too. Mike Maker, Paco Lopez, inside post today.
And he was another one that's a winner on the all-weather in Europe, won at Kempton prior at the start of his career prior to coming here to the United States. I thought the other Mike Maker runner was intriguing in Giroux. That last time out, that allowance race taken off the turf, that was going 1.5 miles on the Tapeta, and Gloucestershire was very impressive that day. This one ran third, and he was pretty tactical. He kind of ran in place a little bit, but we know he can handle the distance. He's been knocking on the door. I thought he was a little bit intriguing from the outside.
And it may be as simple as this horse ran well at this distance on the all-weather, so we'll see how that plays out. Race number 10 this afternoon, about 1 mile 70 yards on the Tapeta allowance. Fillies and mares, 4 and up, started for $16,000 or less. Omnia, my top pick. I got a video I wanted to show. Top of the stretch to the wire when he bumps in the stretch but still holds on game. I thought this was a very game performance by this horse.
No, and what a good claim for Jorge Delgado, too. Claimed him. He ran an 81 Beyer speed figure in his next start with a big effort, and he should be the speed down to the wire and try to hold on once again.
There's a little bumping. Hey, I'm next to you here, and just, kept on. I thought it was very game. Watch this finish. You don't know who's going to, and finally at the end, he draws off to win it by that head. So I thought it was a good performance for him. So as you mentioned, Jorge Delgado, we got, I believe, we have a Tapeta stat on him. Roots going along, so we can show that a little later on. I believe that's there. Well, here it is. So we might as well show it right now. 6 for 24, 25%. Roots on Tapeta at Gulfstream.
$2.38 ROI. Nothing wrong with that. This horse makes a lot of sense. I tried to get a little cute with the 6 Bayou Bell, and I know that he ran okay behind Odramark and Flying Black, who are both in this race, but it's kind of speaking to my theory that this is a horse who was making his first start in South Florida after being up at Woodbine. And I often like some of these Woodbine shippers after they've had a race here at Gulfstream. So I thought he'd be a nice price in what I thought was a pretty wide open race.
You make a great point, Chris. When we saw it all, when we had the Tapete and we saw all these Canada horses come down, so they're going to win. They sort of need a race over the tracks.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
So number 2 is Skew, is how I feel today without my jacket on, is dropping to the 16 starter allowance after rallying to finish third behind a solid repeat winner called Blue Times, going a mile into 16th on the Tapete for Cheryl Weinbaum. You got an Angel Arroyo, that's her go-to jockey, and I think this horse has a chance to run well in here.
And the number 4, Flying Black, both of us backed off today. Brian single in the late pick 5, but hey, you know, this could be the one as it's Ron and Acacia off, so maybe this is the day.
That's the key angle right there. Let's go to the final race here, race number 11, and one that was scheduled for the mile on the grass, a mile 70 on the Tapeta. Maiden special weight fillies in here. We both have Brisk Follow.
Well, I had actually liked Friendship Road trying the turf. We've been told Friendship Road is out of the nightcap here. Brisky Frolic knocking on the door last time out. We'll try the Tapeta for the first time. Filly by Frosted on pedigree. She should like it, and I think that she's one that's continued to improve. Plenty of, once again, big pedigree first-time starters. As you mentioned, Amble, the half-sister to Plum Ali. The Tapeta will be the question, but there's, once again, a big pedigree there to suggest she should be ready.
And Biddy Boar stretching out slightly after setting a pressured pace, fading to finish 4th behind Brisky Frolic. Brendan Walsh, Irad in the saddle there this afternoon. So that's the 11 race card. It's a good one, even though we don't have turf today. As you can hear, there's a lot of different angles and a lot of way to make some good money, but we got the lightning round right now.
Yes, we do. We'll wrap it up with the lightning round here. As yesterday we had some exciting stakes action, and of course there's always a lot of emotions associated with it. Trainer Laura Casares getting her first graded stakes win with Yes, I Am Free in the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint.
Yeah, I loved the interview with her. She was jumping around first graded stakes. It was really
So
nice.
exciting.
Yeah, it was really good to see that. And that is Yes, I Am Free. Winning very impressively, by the way.
Yeah, beat a salty field as well, and a big performance there, best of his career for sure. It was Miss Aramet, meanwhile, in the ladies turf sprint. Miss Aramet, she's a tough filly for sure. Takes the gate to wire. Trouble for Miss J. McKay, who came running late, but Julian Leperoux said he knew that Miss Aramet was game because she beat him a couple races back, and he got to be the passenger today.
Yeah, you see Miss J. McKay, the 2 horse running, lost all chance early on, but if you give Miss Aramet the lead, you're done. You know, and if you get an easy lead like that, that's how tough it is. But we saw some really nice horses yesterday.
We did. Charge It for Todd Pletcher and Mandy Pope's Whisper Hill Farm named Tappett's 49th TDN Rising Star. How crazy is that?
Yeah, look, this is unbelievable, this performance. And Todd, I think, said afterwards, maybe a prep for the Florida Derby or something like that.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I mean, this one couldn't have done it any easier, and he was very game in debut as well. Meanwhile, talking about some of the most talented jockeys we have here at Gulfstream Park, you can support the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund today. Head on over make a donation. You can get a Tyler Gaffleone or a Brad Ortiz bobblehead this afternoon from 11 to 12:30.
I don't know if I've ever seen Ired's hair like that, but I'll go with it. You know, it looks pretty good there. So we'll see how that is. And I actually found this picture. I don't know if I found it, but I like this picture you're going to show.
Ron was right there when they were foaling. No, I'm kidding. Enable, the superstar mare, has her Kingman foal. I love photos like this. High expectations for sure on this little one, but just so exciting to see the next generation and all of the full pictures as it is full season right now.
That's a nice picture.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
fantastic.
Anything else?
That's it.
Goodbye.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James And then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against them. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Donnie V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come, Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.
I'd always had a really deep love of animals. When I started riding, I felt that instant connection. It was this horse, Siren, that she was a thoroughbred, she'd been on the racetrack. It really shaped me growing up because I had to learn how to be confident, but I also had to be compassionate. And she really was that first love I had of a horse.